New 72 Radio, the voice, views, and visions of the collective.
This is Mary Berger with ComputerDiva, and we are live on Facebook, so my screen indicates to me. So thank you all for joining me tonight. I see we have some people in the chat room already. Hey Beth, thanks for joining us. So my name is Mary Berger, my company is ComputerDiva, and this is Diva Talk, where we go live every other Thursday night on Facebook and the Zoom platform, and we talk about all sorts of things in relation to technology. So it's been a while since we've done one of these shows. I think it's been a month, maybe 6 weeks. I can't remember. I know that there was a point when Kelly was on vacation, and Kelly is the producer of this show from New 72 Media, and she works behind the scenes to put this show together, and she does a flawless job, but I know she was on vacation. And then 2 weeks ago, we were actually going to do the show, and I can't remember why, but the day before I decided the show couldn't go on. There were some issues in my life that were preventing me from doing it. And it turned out that it was probably a good thing that I postponed it, because 15 minutes before the show was due to go live, if we had done it, I lost power at my house. And I never would have been able to recover all my technology in time for the show to go live. So if you haven't seen us live for a while, that is why. It's just summertime happenings that have been taking place. So like I said, New 72 Media are the producers of this show. Kelly Lair is the genius behind the scenes, and we thank you for watching and attending. And we have a lot to talk about tonight. So the first thing I want to talk about is maybe just some little pieces of news that I've been gathering over the past couple of weeks. The first one has to do with Consumer Reports. I kind of follow that organization, and I'm a subscriber to Consumer Reports. And they recently came out in the past week or so basically saying that they are no longer recommending the Microsoft Surface tablet. It has poor long-term reliability. They've been polling their readers, and they spend a lot of money doing that, gathering data from their readers and figuring out which products out in the real world really work long-term and which ones don't. And so Consumer Reports is now saying, we don't recommend you buy the Microsoft Surface tablet. It actually has a do not buy. So I have never been a fan of the Surface or the Surface Pro. I think it's a great idea, but the screen is way too small for anybody to really use it meaningfully. I know that every time I've worked on a client's Surface Pro, I've had to make sure that I've got my reading glasses on, because the screen is so small, I can't see anything on the screen, and it's extremely frustrating for me. And working on those devices without my reading glasses, I have figured out kind of what people who are having really poor ailing eyesight feel like when they try and do something. It's frustrating because you can't see what's going on. So, you know, Microsoft will probably need to go back to the drawing board and figure out what they're going to do. I think they should stick with the operating system software and not try and do hardware, because traditionally they've never done a very good job at it. Leave that to Apple, and leave that to the Android devices, those people who do a really good job with Android devices. I have an Android device that I love. I don't use it much, but I love it. So leave it to those folks. The next piece of snippet of news that I want to briefly mention is with what happened over the weekend in Charlottesville, Virginia. After that happened, Apple CEO Tim Cook I think the figure I heard was he decided as a company to pledge $2 million towards fighting hate crimes, which I think is awesome. And I know he'll follow through with it, and it will probably end up being a whole lot more money than $2 million, because in terms of Apple, that seems kind of low. But I'm curious to find out what they're going to do with that. In conjunction with that, we all know that after what happened over the weekend, that a lot of the CEOs that were members of the business committees, there were a couple of business and technology committees that were working with President Trump. They kind of pulled out of the committees, and then President Trump decided to just ceremoniously disband the committees altogether. So we'll see what happens, but a lot of people in the technology field are kind of pulling away from those types of committees where government is involved. So kudos to Apple CEO Tim Cook for pledging that money to fight the hate crimes. The next thing I want to talk about is I ran across, I'm a subscriber to a daily email, and it is called, what is it called? Oh, The Hustle. The Hustle. I get it every morning in my inbox, my email inbox at 9 a.m., and it's technology related. And they have a lot of interesting information in there. So a couple of days ago, I was reading through the daily email, and they were talking about a company called MoviePass. And it's a subscription service where you pay so much money per month, and you get to go to movie theaters and watch movies. They're participating movie theaters. I don't know what movie theater companies are participating, whether it's Regal or whatever. I don't go to a whole lot of movie theaters there, so I don't know a whole lot about the different companies, but they are now, they have slashed the subscription fee. Let's see, it used to be $30 a month, and you could see one movie every 24 hours. That's a heck of a deal for $30 a month. Even if you go to, one movie a week, you're getting your money back on that. It all depends on what movie chains participate, but they have now slashed that to $10 a month. And for that $10 fee, you get to see one movie in a participating movie theater every 24 hours. So if you were to see a movie every day for 30 days at $9 per ticket, that's $270 worth of movie tickets that you're getting for $10. Not too many people are going to do that, but like I said, one movie a month or one movie a week, and you have more than paid for that monthly subscription. Of course, why are they doing this? Apparently they don't have too many subscribers right now, so they're trying to increase their number of subscribers from the thousands into the millions. They just got an influx of some venture capital that is allowing them to do this, and their whole plan is to increase that subscribership into the millions and then monetize on all of those subscribers by marketing services and products to those people. And then they plan on going public. So, it's not a bad deal if you understand that, okay, I'm going to subscribe for $10 a month. If the movie theaters in your area participate in this, that's a heck of a deal. So I think you should check it out. Gone with page one. Okay. The next thing that I saw in The Hustle was, and I started to look at this, but I haven't signed up for it yet, but I will, because this is really intriguing. It's called Skillshare. And Skillshare is a company that has all sorts of video training programs. They're online video classes, and you subscribe for $8.25 a month if you pay on an annual basis. If you go month to month, it's $15 a month. So anyway, like I said, it's unlimited online video classes. They currently have about 3 million members, and they have all sorts of subject matter, pretty much anything you could probably think of. And they're just really concise, well-planned video classes. I don't know how long they are, but I would have to say, you know, if I were to guess, maybe a half hour per class. They, like I said, all sorts of different topics: marketing, design, entrepreneurship, you know, just about anything you can think of that you might want to learn about. And so, like I said, $8.25 a month if you pony up for an annual subscription, or $15 a month. That's not a bad way to get a little bit of education. So anyway, Skillshare, I believe their website is Skillshare.com. So that's kind of a cool offering. Okay, so with that said, I want to kind of get into the meat of what I want to talk about tonight. And I want to talk about this because I've had a couple of customers lately come to me and say, you know, what is going on with my email? So they received emails in their inbox, and it's basically email spoofing. But email spoofing is when somebody sends out an email, and it's usually the hackers of the world, who they send out a series of emails. They're mass blasting people. And so you get this email in your inbox, and it looks like it came from a friend of yours. So it has their name as the email address at the top, and it's being addressed to you. So you think, oh, yeah, Jane Doe, my friend, has sent me an email, and it must be safe. So I'm going to open it up, and there might be a link in there. Maybe Jane has said, hey, you know, check this website out. I think you might like it. You click on the link, and there's a couple of different things that it can do for you. Number one, it could take you to a page where it's trying to gather your email information and maybe some personal information. So, you know, it's gathering personal information from you. And the other thing that it might be doing is they're trying to get some sort of malicious software onto your computer. And if you want to hold on for just a minute, I'm going to close my window because the neighbor behind me just turned on their blower, and it's going to get very noisy here in a minute. So hold on. Thank you. The joys of broadcasting live. It's going to get a little warm in here in a minute, but that's okay. That's just me. So anyway, so they may be putting something malicious on your system, so that the link in the email may be linking you to a malicious site that behind the scenes, without you knowing it, is downloading something onto your system. So the whole idea of spoofing is they're spoofing your email address. They're copying it. They're faking it. They're making people think that the email they're sending out is legitimate, that it came from a friend of theirs. How did they get your address in the first place to send you that email? A couple of different ways. Maybe you received an email with a phishing link, and you clicked on that link, and now they've got your email information. The other way that this used to be really, really common. Remember way back in the day when we all used to forward all these email jokes around to everybody? Well, that's the other way that they can kind of get your email information is, so say maybe a friend of yours received a joke email and decided, hey, this is really funny, I'm going to send it to 50 of my closest friends. They click on the little forward button, and they put all their friends' email addresses in there, and maybe they don't even do a BCC, they just do a CC for a carbon copy instead of the blind carbon copy. And somebody on that list receives the email, and they've already got a virus on their system that's taking a look at their email and kind of farming stuff that comes in. Now they see those 50 email addresses in this spoofing email. Now they've got 50 more addresses on their list that they can send spoofing email to. So none of it is, what should I say? None of it is legitimate. None of it is good for you. They're always looking to do something harmful, to mine some information from you or mine some information from your computer. So how can you protect yourself? Really simple. Make sure on your email client that you're using your spam filters, that as spam comes into your inbox, you're marking it as spam. And when you go into your spam folder, I would check that out on a regular basis. Number one, just to make sure that legitimate email is not being marked as spam. But then go into those spam folders and take a look at that email, and never click on any links in those spam emails, because that is, you know, the first way that you're going to get marked for it. And don't download anything from a link in those emails. So just, you know, make sure that you're watching those folders carefully, and that if any spam does come into your inbox, you're immediately marking it as spam and putting it in those spam folders. All of your email clients will give you the ability for that, whether it be Thunderbird or Outlook on the desktop, or whether it be your web-based email through Comcast/Xfinity, Google, Frontier, Yahoo, AOL. They all have the ability to allow you to mark your spam as spam and not have it come into your inbox anymore. So just be very vigilant and very careful about that. And the last thing is, you know, you might want to learn how to read your email headers, and this gets really technical, but every email client allows you the ability to see the header of an email. And the header of the email is like the roadmap behind the scenes of where the email originated, how it traveled through the internet to get to you, what the original subject line might have been. It will have the IP address of the sender. And if you kind of learn how to read through those, it kind of gives you a little bit of a clue as to what's going on. Now, typically what happens with my clients is they'll forward me a copy of the email if they're suspicious about it, and they'll say, hey, can you check this out? So then I'll connect to their computer and I'll take a look at the email header, and we'll kind of walk through it together, and we'll try and figure out, okay, what's going on here. I've had 2 of those this week already. And your best bet is to just make sure those emails go into your spam folder, and then just make sure you delete your spam folder every so often. So I know a lot of my clients will receive email like this, and they'll immediately equate this spoofing activity as being hacked. And being hacked is a term that probably isn't used properly. A lot of my clients will just say, no matter what happens, they'll say, I've been hacked. My computer's been hacked. My account's been hacked. You know, my life's been hacked. They've been hacked. So what I want to kind of talk to you guys about is, what is really a hack and what does it mean? Well, hacking is, you know, maybe your email account has been hacked, or one of your online accounts has been hacked. And what that means is somebody has gained access to that account. It's probably a very rare occasion where your computer itself gets hacked. Somebody who has the skills and the ability to hack a computer is going to go after somebody much bigger than you and I. They're going to go after those corporations. There's not a whole lot to be gained by hacking your computer. Typically, if somebody is going to want entry into your computer, they're going to need your cooperation to get into your computer. So if your computer actually has gotten hacked, it's because you've allowed the hacker into your computer. That happens when you get one of those little pop-up windows that says your computer has a gazillion viruses, you must call this number, and we will clean it up for you. Otherwise, you know, the world will stop turning and it will come to an end within 5 minutes. So of course, everybody gets afraid. They pick up the phone, they call, they get on the phone with the so-called Microsoft of the world, and they let these people into their system because they've been, you know, they've been scared into doing this. And you all, if you watch my show or watch my videos, you know that I talk about this all the time, because it's a problem that is running rampant. So if your computer gets hacked, it's because you have allowed the hacker in. So just don't allow the hacker into your computer. But if you have an account that has been hacked, and I would be really concerned about your email account being hacked, you need to take steps to rectify that right away once you've discovered you've been hacked. How do you know you've been hacked? You might have a friend who has called you and said, hey, Mary, I got this email from you and it looks kind of suspicious. And if you go into your email account and look at your sent items folder, look for that email that your friend says they received from you. If it's in your sent items folder, your account has been hacked. It means that somebody has gotten into your email account, whether it be frontier.com, AOL.com, gmail.com, yahoo.com. They've gotten into your web account and they've sent out email to your friends. And so it definitely did come from you. If you see that sent email in the sent items box, you know you've been hacked. So what do you do when you discover that? And let me backtrack before I talk about that. So if you don't see email in that sent items folder, chances are it's a spoof email and not a hacked account. There's a big difference between the two. So the spoofed email is the hackers of the world are just using your email address. They've got the software that enables them to send email as you, but it's going out through their own email servers that they've got set up. Hacking is email that actually goes out of your email account. So if your email account has been hacked, you know it because in your sent items folder, you see that sent email. So glad I clarified that. So what do you do? The first thing that you're going to do is you're going to set up a new email account from a different domain. So if it's a Gmail account that's been hacked, go into your internet provider or go to Yahoo. As much as I hate Yahoo, I probably don't want to recommend Yahoo because they are notorious for their entire systems being hacked and email addresses being stolen. But do it from a different provider if you possibly can. But set up a second email address. And that's for recovery. The next thing you want to do is you want to go into, before I do this, when you set up that email account, make sure you set up a recovery method and you use a phone number, maybe your cell phone number, as a recovery method for the email password. So set up a new email account, use your cell phone as a recovery method for the email password. Turn on two-factor authentication. And what is two-factor authentication? All websites are starting to use it now, and it's really important that you set this up. So two-factor authentication says that if somebody gets your email password, so they've gotten your Google email address and now they have your password, from their computer, they're trying to log into your account. Well, the two-factor authentication says, oh, hey, wait, this computer has never logged into this Gmail account before. We'd better send a text message to the owner of that email account with a code. And that code will need to be put into the screen where the user is trying to log in. So that pretty much eliminates the hackers and the strangers of the world from being able to log into your account, unless, of course, they've stolen your cell phone. And then you have even bigger problems. So two-factor authentication is really important for you to set up on your email accounts. So then once you've got all this set up, then you need to be going to all your other web accounts. And I would start with your financial institutions and start changing the email address on those accounts to the new email address. Because if the hackers have gotten your email address and your password, they can then go to all the websites that you use that email address on and say, oh, I've forgotten my password. Can you send me an email with the code so that I can change my password? Now they're getting into all your other websites. And you kind of see how this kind of rolls. it can be really, really dangerous. Your email account is the most sensitive account you probably have besides your banking accounts, and you don't want anybody to gain access to that account, because then they'll slowly be able to get access to all of your other accounts. So once you've been hacked, I'm just going to review this one more time. Create a secondary email account. Use your cell phone number as a recovery method from this account. Turn on two-factor authentication, then log into all your other web accounts and switch that email address over to the new one. It's a lot of work. I would seriously sit down and cry if I had to do that. With all the various websites I log into, it could be disaster. So, so that's the difference between spoofing and hacking. I hope it made sense. And if anybody has any questions on that, feel free to let me know. I am not tuned in here to the Facebook Live page, so if you're posting questions there, I don't see them. But if somebody does post a question, Kelly will let me know. I'm sure she will, because she's just so good that way. The next thing I want to talk about is we have a major celestial event coming up this Monday, August 21st. And if you haven't heard about it, you've been hiding in a hole, in a cave somewhere. But it is the full solar eclipse. So that's this Monday, August 21st. And it's a major event. Now, we're seeing crazy things happen already. There is the line of totality, which crosses the country, and it starts at the Oregon coast, and it kind of crosses down over the country and kind of meanders its way south. So if you're in the line of totality, you will see the full solar eclipse. Where I am here in Vancouver, Washington, I think I'm going to see 98 point something percent full solar eclipse, which is good enough for me. I had originally been invited to a friend's house in Central Oregon to view the eclipse, but after hearing the news talk about traffic issues, I decided I'm not going to do that. I didn't want to be stuck in Central Oregon on Monday and not be able to get back to my office to service my clients by Tuesday morning. I just knew it wasn't going to happen. So I am hunkering down at home, and I am going to watch the partial eclipse from here, even though it's almost a full solar eclipse. Okay, we have a few questions in the chat room. I've got a couple of questions here. Okay, so I'm going to address them both. I'm going to put the eclipse talk on hold for just a moment. I'll get back to it. So the first question here is, are all internet browsers the same, or are some better than others? And what's my favorite? Awesome question. I don't know who asked that. Oh, it was Beth. So they are not all the same. They all achieve the same effect. Your internet browser allows you to open up the browser, go to web pages. That's their function, and that's what they do. They all have different levels of security. They're all getting better. Internet Explorer, the current version is 11. Microsoft Internet Explorer comes built into all computers, and it's been around for years, is probably the worst browser. And I would urge anybody not to use it. Now, I have a lot of clients who still use it, especially in the insurance industry, which has been a huge focus of mine because I was in the insurance industry for a long time. Insurance carrier websites are notorious for working best in Internet Explorer and not other browsers. So sometimes the website you're going to works best in Internet Explorer, other times it works best in a different browser. My favorite, which has been my favorite for a couple of years now, is Google Chrome. I think it is a lot more secure than the other browsers, and it just runs faster. And I like Google Chrome because I sign into it with my Google account, and then I can share my browsing history, my bookmarks, my favorites amongst all my other devices. So I've got a very definite set of browser favorites, website favorites that I've got in Google Chrome, and I can open it up on any computer, and I've got all the same favorites in my favorites bar. I can open it up in my iPad, and I've got the same set of favorites in there. So I like Google Chrome the best. Firefox is really, really good. I used to use that for years, but then I fell in love with Google Chrome. So hopefully that answers that question. There's another question here about what is my new favorite, or my favorite new app. My favorite new app. Okay, so I'm going to open this up and show it to you. And it has everything to do with health, but it's called Waterminder. And oh, this can be embarrassing because as you go through your day and you drink your water, you go into the Waterminder. Let's see if, oh, the light might not be good enough here. Anyway, it shows a human form here. And as you drink water, you tap on this little plus down here, and you say, oh, I just drank, 8 ounces of water. I just drank 17 ounces of water. You can even change the type of liquid. You can change it to coffee, tea, carbonated water, coconut water, skim milk, hot chocolate, soup, even beer and wine, and the general category of liquor. And as you increase your ounces, it will show the blue water line starting at your toes, and as you increase your ounces, it kind of goes up to your head. Once your entire body is blue, you've drank your quota of water for the day. And my very good friend Amy, who is an accountability partner for me, we meet every Friday morning. We talk on the phone, and we help each other stay accountable for certain goals for the week. And she's studying to be a nutritionist, and she has recommended that we should drink, let's see, half our body weight in ounces every day in water. So I have a goal, and I've plugged it into the app. So by the end of the day, by the time I go to bed, my head better be blue. And if I haven't had any water or reported water in a while, it will give me a notification, and the sound for that notification is water being poured into a glass, and it makes me thirsty, so that keeps me motivated to drink more water. But I haven't recorded much water today, but I have to be accountable to Amy for that tomorrow, so I will be drinking lots of water after this show. So thank you for asking about my favorite new app. Will the eclipse affect internet connectivity? Great question. So let's get back to the Eclipse stuff here. So yeah, it possibly could. They've been talking a lot about during the eclipse, make sure that, well, you might lose cell phone coverage because there are going to be so many people in the 70-mile wide range of totality who, they're all gathering along this swath across the country, that the cell phone towers may not be able to keep up with that. So getting internet access on your cell devices in that swath of totality could be problematic. Don't know if it will really affect your land internet lines, like your cable internet or your DSL lines. Possibly it could. I guess we'll find out on Monday, but be prepared to maybe lose your internet access, be prepared to lose your ability to make phone calls, because it's going to be amazing. So anyway, what I was talking about when we were talking about the eclipse was that in this path of totality, people are coming into these areas in droves. I know that where it starts in Oregon at the Oregon coast, the place where it's going to be total is down in Salem, Oregon, and about 70 miles wide, and it's going to go through the central part of the state, which is your Bend, your Black Butte, Brasada Ranch. It's going to be Sisters, that whole area. People are gathering there in droves, and they're already showing on the news here that lines of cars 15 miles long being stuck in these traffic jams, gas stations that are running out of gas, and they've got big tanker trucks delivering every night to keep up with the demand. And they're saying if you are driving on the road towards a location to view, for instance, like a 2-lane road, you have a right lane and a left lane. If you're in the right lane, try and keep as far to the shoulder as possible as you're crawling along, and the left lane, try and keep as far as possible to the left shoulder. So that will leave kind of a path in the center of the 2 lanes for emergency vehicles to get through in case of an emergency. There are also fires in Central Oregon right now that they're bad. And we've got all these people rushing to Central Oregon to view this eclipse. And we've got these massive fires going on, and there's evacuations taking place. And I'm kind of following that on Facebook. A friend of mine, his mom lives up there, and they're evacuating, and it doesn't look good. So please, please, during the eclipse, be very mindful of emergency vehicles and their ability to get through. Don't just pull off to the side of the road at the time of the eclipse to view it. Make sure you try and get to a designated viewing spot, wherever it is, your destination. Try and get there. So, you know, they're talking about the eclipse, and I have my eclipse glasses here. A client gave me these glasses, and they're safe, it says here on the back, safe for direct solar viewing. Now, I know that it has an ISO number here on the inside. It's got this little ISO number, and they say if your eclipse glasses has this ISO number, that they're safe for viewing. So my good friend Bill Dolan at Spirit Media gave me these. They're a client of mine, and when he first gave me these a few weeks ago, I'm looking at the inside, and it says Eclipse Shades, manufactured in USA by Rainbow Symphony Inc., Reseda, California. Now that kind of struck me because that's my hometown. It's a suburb down in Los Angeles, just north of Los Angeles. My mom and her siblings grew up there. I grew up there, and so it's kind of interesting that I got eclipse glasses from my hometown. So anyway, make sure that if you're going to view the eclipse, that you wear your glasses and make sure they're snug. Don't, please don't try and just look at the sun with your bare eyes. It's not worth it. If that's what you're kind of thinking you want to do, just don't. Watch it on TV if you really want to watch it. Do not take photos of the eclipse with your smart device. We don't know what kind of damage that sun will do. And it's interesting because, you know, my mom has been saying for a few weeks that, you know, when the eclipse takes place, that we need to make sure the dogs are in the house, that they're not outside. And I kind of, you know, brushed that off and thought, oh, that's just crazy. Well, you know, I was reading on the internet today that pets will react to the eclipse in a weird way. I mean, you know, all of a sudden we've got total daylight in the morning, and then all of a sudden it goes dark, and the pets kind of freak out. They don't know what's going on. So, and from everything I've read on the internet, they say, make sure your pets are indoors. So, okay, Mom knows better than I do, and I'm going to give her a lot of credit for that. So thanks, Mom, for bringing that up. I never would have researched that, and I would have taken my dog outside and said, hey, let's go view the eclipse. So now I won't do that. One of the things that you might want to do when you're not looking at the sun, just kind of be observant of everything around you, because you're going to be able to, in a very short time, observe a sunrise and a sunset. The eclipse will give that whole 360-degree view for you. One look at that beauty. Just look at that beauty. And like I said, don't try and take pictures. There's a lot of professional people out there, believe me, who are going to be taking tons of photos of the eclipse, and you'll be able to see them on the internet. You'll be able to download them. You'll be able to show them to your friends and say, hey, look at the picture I took. Just kind of enjoy it. Just enjoy the process. And but I decided, me being a technician, I decided that I wanted to kind of show everybody a very non-technical way of building a device that will allow you to observe the eclipse without actually looking at the sun. And I remember doing this in, I don't know, maybe second or third grade. But when the eclipse was coming up, I decided, okay, let's revisit that whole project, and let's go ahead and make this eclipse viewing device. So I remember it was a shoebox that we used. So I went in my closet and I dug out a shoebox, and I have made my handy dandy little eclipse viewing device here. So I've got this shoebox, and the first thing you want to do is, I'll take off the lid here. You want to cut a hole in the front that's maybe an inch square. And let's see if we can see the other side of it over here. See that hole that I've kind of, yeah, there, we can see it's an inch square hole that I've just cut. And I've taped a piece of aluminum foil over it. And then from the back side, you're supposed to take like a straight pin and just punch a little hole in the foil. Now, yeah, I kind of rushed through this, and I punched a hole with the knife that I used to cut the square in the box. So the hole is too big. Before Monday, I'll replace this foil with a new piece, and I'll put a proper hole in there from the other side. So the whole premise is you're going to hold this up to the sun, and the sun will get through this little hole, and it's actually going to be projected onto this white piece of paper that you're going to paste on the back of the box. So when you're viewing the eclipse, you've got your hole here where the sun will enter. It's projecting to this white piece of paper here at the back. Your lid is going to be closed. You want to make sure that you definitely have a lid. And then what you're going to do on the side of the box here, you're going to cut out your little viewing hole. So when the eclipse actually comes, you're going to take the foil, you're going to put it over your shoulder, pointing it towards the sun. And so that the sun is going to go in through this little hole in the aluminum foil here, and it's going to project on that white piece of paper at the back. Your viewing hole is here, and you're actually going to view the eclipse here. And you're going to see that white piece of paper in the back. You're going to see the sun actually projecting the shape of the sun onto that white piece of paper. And you're going to see the whole eclipse. Kind of a cool little way to view the eclipse. And, like I said, I remember when I was a kid, we made these in school. And it was a little science project, and there must have been an eclipse. This would have been back in the, maybe late 60s, early 70s. So there must have been an eclipse taking place, and so that was our little science project. So between my eclipse glasses and my non-technical eclipse viewing box, I'm all set for Monday. ComputerDiva will be closed on Monday morning. I will be in my office, but when the eclipse starts, roughly about a little after 9 o'clock in the morning is, when we're going to have the sun here, and the moon's going to start passing through. So it's going to take a couple hours to get all the way through, and it's going to be about, I think, 10:19 in the morning when the moon will be directly between the sun and the earth, and we'll just have that little, halo around the moon, which is the sun kind of in back of it, and it will be totally over and complete, they say, by 11:38 in the morning. So kind of exciting. There's a lot of eclipse parties going on, but I'm just going to stay here at home. So I'll be in my office in the morning. I'll be out observing the eclipse, probably either in my backyard out here or out in the front yard with the neighbors. And maybe we'll be, you know, posting some comments on Facebook, and we'll kind of all share together. So if you want more information about the Eclipse, there's a couple of websites you can go to. And NASA is an excellent resource. You can go to, let's see, https:// eclipse2017.nasa.gov. There's going to be tons of information on the NASA website about the Eclipse, weather-related, traffic-related, education information, safety information. It's a great place to go between now and Monday morning to read up on everything Eclipse related. And then they're also going to have some live video streams. nasa.gov/Eclipse Live is where you'll go when the Eclipse starts, and it will be live streaming. I'm not sure what they're going to show, but they've got all this cool camera equipment that will be able to safely deliver the Eclipse to you via live stream. So so that's what I have to say about the Eclipse. It's going to be a very high energy morning. It could be a very spiritual moment, and it's going to be very interesting. I'm really looking forward to the Eclipse. So anyway, that's what I have to say about that. So for all of you who have listened to me for a while, you know me, you're maybe clients of mine, you know that about 15 months ago, I came out with my Diva Care product. And for the first 12 months, I had one product to offer. It was called Diva Care. That's all, Diva Care. Managed maintenance for your computer included your antivirus software, your anti-malware software, weekly tune-ups on your computer, weekly cleanups, alert monitoring, basically anything that took place on your computer. We could monitor, we can quickly get in, and if your computer had an issue, we could fix it. Well, we've evolved, and that is still our flagship product. It is, you know, my favorite of all the products, because it also gives you, with all of that stuff for $33 a month, it gives you unlimited remote support for your computer. So all you have to do is call me, send me an email and say, hey, this is going on. Can you hop on my computer and fix it? Yeah, absolutely. We can do that. And we've got tons of clients on that product, and it's going great. They love it. And I thank all of them for being such loyal clients and supporters of Diva Care. On June 1st of this year, on the 1-year anniversary of Diva Care, I came out with several new products. Of course, a couple of months prior to that, I came out with my online calendar, and that has been working beautifully. Tons of people are utilizing that to set up appointments with me. It saves a lot of time, no more back and forth via email or phone call trying to set up a good day and time between me and the client to do my appointment. And if you want, when you set up the appointment, you could pay for it at that time as well. You have the ability, when you set up the appointment, you can say, yeah, I'm going to pay for that hour now. And if the appointment runs an hour and a half, then we settle up at the end of the appointment. So the other products that I came out with, excuse me, are Diva Care Lite and Diva Care Free and Diva Care Managed Antivirus. And the really nice thing about these products, of course, Diva Care Free is my Diva Care software that goes on your computer. It monitors your computer for major alerts. And if anything happens on your computer in these alert zones, I get a text message that says, hey, something's happening with Jane Doe's computer. Let's pay attention to it. Let's be proactive and fix it. It's totally free. And it also gives you a 5% discount on remote support. So there's absolutely no reason not to have Diva Care Free. It's you know, you save money. Free saves you money. The Diva Care Lite is an addition to that, where you also get monitoring of the software alerts and hardware alerts. You get software updates for up to 35 different third-party products, such as your Adobe products, your Java products, your WinZip products, your 7-Zip products, up to 35 different products. All your browsers, Chrome, Firefox, all of those will be updated for you. It gives you a 10% discount on remote work, remote maintenance work. And then the major runaway hit out of my line of Diva Care products has been my managed antivirus. It's selling like wildfire, and the antivirus software that we're using is called MCSoft. So you get Diva Care free, plus you get your antivirus software for your computer, $5 a month, and a 5% discount on remote maintenance. $5 a month or $50 a year. And the MCSoft antivirus software also protects you against ransomware, which is your worst nightmare. If you get hit by ransomware, it is your worst nightmare, and you don't want to be caught with that. So for $5 a month, it's worth it to sign up for that. You can go straight to my website, ComputerDiva.biz, and sign up for that, and we'll get you rolling and managing on that. So that's a lot. That's a lot. So we are coming up here almost on an hour. So I'm going to wrap this up and say thank you for everybody who watched live and who will watch this as it gets posted on YouTube in the next several days. I really appreciate everybody who supports me, supports my Diva Talk radio show. I do other videos now and then that I post on YouTube, so check out that YouTube page for various videos. I think I have 51 or 52 videos up there to date, and 20 some odd Diva Talk shows. So I appreciate your support. I appreciate the support of New 72 Media, who gives me this opportunity to do this radio show, and Kelly Lair, who works behind the scenes to make sure that everything runs flawless, that we're live on Facebook, and that everybody gets notifications for this show. So we will be back 2 weeks from tonight. I don't know what that date is. It might be the 5th, 6th, maybe the 7th. I think it's going to be the 7th of September. So who knows what I'll be talking about then. I will come up with that content between now and then. And sometimes I like to talk about my experiences with my clients. So maybe we'll be doing that. But at any rate, I appreciate you watching, and you all have a wonderful evening. And please be safe on Monday during the eclipse. Talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.